Welcome to Channel 4 JCE News, giving you your favorite news. Now, I'm your host, Cersei Gray. Today we will be covering information concerning our society during the current era, the Gilded Age. To start off, let's hear from our news correspondent, Susan Price, about education. Susan?
Hello, Cersei. Right now, education is extremely racist. Currently, 62% of Americans are attending elementary school, while only 34% are African Americans. That just doesn't seem right to me. Another thing that is more concerning is the classrooms. The buildings are overcrowded, poorly constructed, and filthy.
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. No wonder my son Jimmy has seizures. I'm putting him into homeschool next week.
Good choice, Cersei. Did you know that classrooms are so small that children have to huddle together like sardines? The students' age range is from 5 to 16. I just got news that there are even 20-year-olds. Back to you, Cersei.
Thanks, Susan. Now let's hear from our immigration expert, Laura Burke.
Right now, immigrants are lured to America by promise of a better life.
Boy, are they getting screwed over.
Some people left their home countries due to their race and their undervalued opinions. Additionally, there were some slight problems with famine, land shortages, and religious and political persecution. They left to live the American dream, which is really just a dream. Right now, we are seeing a large amount of European and Chinese immigrants. There are also people from the West Indies, Mexico, and Japan. This should bring lots of diversity to our beautiful country. And much like America during this time, people immigrating to Argentina. But let's talk about the Italians specifically for a minute. 4 million Italians went to America and 2 million went to Argentina. That's a lot of Italians. The kicker is, Italians make up about 60% of immigrants in Argentina, whereas America, they only make up 14%. This is probably because Italy was lacking resources, both America and Argentina were open for immigration. But less people wanted to move to Argentina because it's farther away. And the Italians were smart enough to realize that there would be less competition in Argentina, since not as many people were moving there. Another reason why Italians probably moved to Argentina is because other Italians moved there. I mean, if you're gonna move somewhere, you might as well move somewhere where they're gonna be comfortable and familiar. So, if a lot of people from your country are moving to Argentina, you are going to go there as well. To add to this, the majority of people from Italy are Roman Catholic, and so are the people in Argentina.
Argentina better watch out. Italians are feisty people. My next door neighbor Luigi is from Italy, and he likes to throw pizza dough at my youngest son Kevin. I'm not gonna lie, I've had to take him to the hospital multiple times. Anyway, let's hear about sports. Our next correspondent is Clary Slith. What's happening today, Clary?
Not much, Cersei. With the rise of spectator sports, amusement parks, and unhealthy confectionery sweeping the nations, Americans are doing a whole lot of nothing. Our Boston Reds, on the other hand, are on the rise.
Just like diabetes.
That's right, Cersei. With our team's consistent success, Coca-Cola soft drinks and Hershey's chocolates can be bought at any of the Reds games for 10 cents or less. This ensures that the only enjoyment you will ever have will stem from sugar-riddled food and exercise-less amusement park rides. The new Coney Island is a great place to take your kids in order to buy their love, but only if you're rich and white.
Ah, sounds like the government. Thanks for your time, Clary.
Always happy to oblige.
And finally, an overview of amazing technological advancements. Devices such as the telephone and typewriter have made it much easier to keep in contact with your family when you go on business trips. And the creation of the Transcontinental Railroad has changed many lives. This lengthy railroad has made the dreams of thousands of people come true. You can now seek out new land, adventure, and a fresh start. And if you like being surrounded by smelly people, you can now move to the dirty city where you can live cheaply and conveniently. Plus, if your husband has no skill, he can get a steady job in the city working in a factory or mill. I know my husband, Bob, appreciates this particular benefit. Now, although there are many great things happening in our lovely America right now, these things are also causing some complications. Let's hear from our friend Susan Price about some problems with education right now. Susan?
Hi, Cersei. One of the biggest issues in education is segregation. In some parts of the country, specifically the South, African Americans are being unfairly separated from white people. This is called the Jim Crow laws. All because they look different from us, these laws segregated African Americans in almost every location and situation. For example, they have separate schools, churches, swimming pools, libraries, bathrooms, and even drinking fountains.
And to further degrade these poor people, there are signs labeled blacks and whites to tell these people where to go.
That sounds horrifying. I'm glad that we live up here in the north. I would hate seeing people treated so poorly. And now I do not look forward to adding to all of the sadness, but life isn't all beer and Skittles. Let's hear from our friend Laura Burke about some problems pertaining to immigration. Laura?
Hi, Cersei. I hate to say it, but the problem with new immigrants coming into this country isn't the immigrants, but the native white people who already live here expect immigrants to change their ways and abandon their culture, religion, and language. Naturally, this has caused tension and many conflicts. Plus, the native people believe that the immigrants are going to take their jobs for less money. To stop this from happening, there has been laws created for certain ethnicities to restrict immigrants from coming to America.
Wow, that's crazy. I knew there was a reason why my aunt Gloria didn't make it to dinner last night. I'll have to contact her and see if she was sent back to Norway. I sure hope not. Her chicken soup was delicious. But enough about my personal life. Let's switch gears and talk about some issues with our cities. Like I said before, cities are now full of smelly people. But there are also some other big problems in cities right now. One complication is sanitation. The streets are filthy and full of many disturbing things that I do not want to go into detail about. Another struggle is housing. For example, if you want to buy a house, either you have to get one on the outskirts of town and struggle to get transportation to work in the city, or you can rent cramped rooms in a boarding house in the very center of the city. That doesn't seem very sanitary to me. Cities are also having problems with water shortages and, as a result, fires. I myself have experienced this struggle firsthand. It was just last week that my cat Cindy jumped up onto the stove while I was cooking and set herself on fire. The poor dear is now completely bald because I didn't have any water to stop the fire with. She is fine now, just a little cold. And you know what else is cold? Entertainment. Clary, give us some details about issues with our culture.
Happy to, Cersei. The problem with our culture, well, entertainment specifically, is much as the same as education. We have exciting new ways to entertain ourselves, but we can't look past skin color to enjoy it. Our main amusement park, Coney Island, allows African Americans in its doors, but only in certain areas. Beaches are off limits for everyone but the privileged whites, and bars and restaurants are segregated. Speaking of bars and restaurants, prostitution and gambling are on the rise. Young girls are employed to entice hardworking men to spend their money on booze, bets, and bodies. Private backroom dances can be purchased for $1 in any family establishment.
Well, now I'll have to keep a special eye on my son Jimmy. He just got his allowance and I don't want him spending it too quickly. At 9 years old, he is already quite the ladies' man. Anyway, that's our scoop on our society during the current era, the Gilded Age. I'm your host, Cersei Gray, and thank you for watching Channel 4 JEC News, giving you your favorite news.